G'day, I'm Dan Raff, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Fuji for round 2 of the 2021 Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup. We are in the Yaris, and if you saw my last race at Fuji, you know I have feelings about this track, but I also have feelings about this car, which I'll get to a little bit later. I've only raced in it once before, and during an exhibition series when it just came into the game. And yeah, I'll talk about that some more in a moment. But you find me in P8 on the grid, so let's have a look at my qualifying lap. So my best qualifier was the first flying lap. Although I did get slipstream on my second lap coming onto the straight, it wasn't enough to really make too much of a difference. I mean, as will happen with most of the GT Cup races, I really don't have a lot of time to prepare coming right off the back of either a Nations Cup or a Manufacturer Series race, depending on what Saturday it is. So yeah, really, one day was all I got, and it was the first time I'd driven the Yaris since the first race of an exhibition series, way back, I think at the end of last year, when this car was first introduced to the game, and yeah, it's not really a good little car, actually. I mean, most cars in this game you can sort of divide between handling cars or power cars, or either one or the other. You know, there are a couple of good all-rounders. This car is remarkable. It's neither. You know, it handles like a shopping trolley. It understeers to buggery, and it has no power whatsoever. I mean, I could get out of this car and I could run faster. So onto the interminably long straight to finish my qualifying lap. And as I cross the line, I'm provisionally in 5th, but by the time the qualifying session is ended, I'm down in 8th. So looking down the grid, there are a couple of people I know. Harmonic I know, Dexter of course before him, and no IDs left. Henceforth to be known as Noids, because yeah, Giggly Kitten. God, I love some of these usernames, they're hilarious. Matman I've seen before. It's been a while since I've had a race with Matman though. So ready for a grid start here at Fuji, and I almost got it right this time. So as the lights go out, I forget to upshift, and that immediately puts me down a couple of positions into coming into T1, and a little bit of contact. A few drivers go wide, but by and large we all get through it unscathed, well, relatively unscathed. Racing in a huge pack as we come down towards the Dunlop chicane. And I'm bracing for carnage when we get to the chicane. It's if it doesn't happen on T1, it'll happen on this chicane. So a little bit of bumper contact with Noids, nothing too serious, and around or down the back straight towards Dunlop, expecting a mess, Matman cuts across. I think he loses control, gets reset, and managed to get through. So small victories will take them when we can get them. And a couple of drivers, Fathead and Giggly Kitten, with penalties to serve up ahead. Coming around these god-awful off-camber wet noodle corners. And on to the main straight, which will take us about 45 minutes to get down. So around Fathead and Giggly Kitten, as they serve their penalties, went back up into T7 for the time being. Actually T6, with Thexter right behind us, and we're behind Iron Mike as Speedy spins out. We've moved into cockpit view because lap 2 was my fastest lap, and as we come around T1, briefly up into third, but Mansdad and Iron Mike get the run on us, and that puts us back into P5. And I really hope Mansdad 1967, I hope that is his year of birth, because it would mean I am not the oldest person in this lobby. Although if that's Iron Mike's real birth year, I still wouldn't be the oldest. But the race leader glitches out there for a bit, probably on McDonald's Wi-Fi. But yeah, like most road cars in this game, they don't really handle too well around a racetrack. You know, and I think they'd probably lose about 50 kilos of weight if they removed the infotainment system, which is completely unnecessary for our purposes. So Mansdad about to serve a penalty. And we'll see if we can benefit from that. So we stick in Iron Mike's slipstream, we go around Mansdad, up into P4, and begin chasing down Iron Mike. Almost missed my braking point. So we'll flash forward now towards the end of lap 4 with Iron Mike about to serve a penalty. But I run wide coming out of the last turn, and that allows Mansdad to get up beside me, but he's also got a penalty to serve, and that drops him right off. So we pick up speed and get up to the back of Iron Mike, and I look for a move on the inside going into T1, and I almost get it done, but Iron Mike gets the cutback and I'm unable to capitalise. Further on, beginning of lap 6, and drivers have started pitting, so we find ourselves now up into P3 for the time being. Bit of a false position though, since pit stops are still yet to happen. I ever so slightly missed my braking point though into T1, and that allows Noids and Payno to get past and drop me back into P5. By the beginning of lap 7, that slipstream has me catching up with Noids. We're up into P4 because of another driver pitting, and I just managed to squeeze through on T1 to get the move done on Noids, but back up into P3, only very briefly though. Noids is, with the inside line going into the left-hander here, and I've got Super Pants right behind me as well, challenging for P4. But Super Pants gets loose, touches the grass, spins out and crashes into the wall, and is no longer a threat as I stick behind Noids as we head down to the Dunlop chicane. And my front tyres are starting to wear really thin, so I will be pitting at the end of this lap. Not the only one though, seems to be the lap to pit on, as most of the field goes in at the end of lap 7 to change off the medium tyres and onto the hards, both compounds required for this race. So onto the main straight, right behind Noids, and following him into pit lane. So a quick tyre change, the mediums will come off and the racing hards will go on. No need to refuel, and we're straight out. Right behind Noids, but we come out in P9. The first race that I had with the Yaris after it was first introduced to the game was at Sardinia, and they had us on sports tyres, not racing tyres, and I think it made a huge difference to the way the car handled. So at the end of that lap 8, Noids with a penalty early on, so that allows me to get the run on him up the main straight and back into P8 as we begin lap 9. So yeah, I didn't get much practice with this car, and it was only quite close to the race actually starting that I bothered to look at things like brake balance, and with this car having so much understeer, it really, it meant I had to push the brake balance all the way forward to get it to behave. But even still, it carries so much weight through corners that it can get away from you really quickly. But with Bad Brad and Noids both getting past through this lap, down now in P10. Beginning lap 11, looked like I might get a free position. Oh, I did actually, yep, up into P9 because Rally Boy is in the pits, but he's onto a set of fresh mediums and comes out right behind me, and so holding on to P9 will be a challenge. And you can just see that gap behind me with Rally Boy closing up really fast. And I get a bad line through this corner, and that allows Rally Boy to get up right behind me. And into the Dunlop chicane. Superior grip on the fresh mediums, and he gets around, and yes, he got a track limit penalty, but that will not help me out one bit. And I go very wide through this section, and that drops me down another position as Harmonic gets past, And now I'm down into P11 with Nindo, the New Zealander, a little under 2 seconds behind, though I do have the slipstream of Harmonic in front, whereas Nindo does not have my slipstream. So as we begin lap 12, I'm now just hoping to claim back a top 10 spot, and I try to make a move on the inside of T1, but once again Harmonic with the cutback. So coming to the end of lap 12, and I've got Nindo closing behind me, and Harmonic unfortunately is starting to pull away, and it looks like a top 10 finish might be out of the question, barring a disaster ahead. So now I just want to hold on to P11. Don't want to drop any more. 3 positions down from my starting position is enough, thank you very much. So Harmonic pulling away and Nindo reeling me in. And I just need a really good lap to finish the race and not lose any more positions, and that's my aim. And then I can finally say goodbye to Fuji for the remainder of, well, at least this half of the season. Likely we'll see Fuji again later in the year, but for now this will be our last visit, and I am very happy about that. Go a little bit wide, and Nindo now less than a tenth behind. Coming into Dunlop, and I defend the inside and manage to hold on to the position for now. He does try to go up the inside of the next bend, but that's a difficult corner to make a move on the inside, so I get the cut back. But up into here he does run up the back of me. He did apologise in post-game chat, and he did flash his lights at, when that happened, so it very obviously wasn't deliberate. But that's a difficult corner at the best of times, so no worries. Onto the main straight. He's so close to me that I'm scared the slipstream might pull him in and get him past, so I'm going to weave down the straight. He's trying to keep in my slipstream, but I'm not going to let him, and we cross the line in P11. Maintaining that position by 1.5 tenths of a second. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, please leave a like and comment below to let me know how you did in the race, or just to say hi. We're staying in Japan for the next week, and the next race on the calendar is round 6 of the 2021 Nations Cup. We are at Autopolis in Group 4, so make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the action. I'm Dan Raff, and I'll see you at the next race.